Hello, good day from wherever you are watching me. You're all welcome to our book review today. We're sorry for starting late. Please just few minutes and we will start shortly. Just few minutes and we will start shortly. Please, thank you. Thank you. Few minutes, please. Okay, just few minutes. Few minutes and we will be ready to go. All right, I think I'm having a bit of a network glitch, but we'll be live shortly. Just few minutes. Ready to go. Okay. All right. So having a bit of a network glitch. Just bear with us a few minutes and here we go. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Hello, yes, thank you for being here with us. You're all welcome. So say hello, say hi, so will we know you are here. So we're sorry for starting a bit late today. So we'll be going straight to our book review, and for this week we'll be reviewing the book The Power of Positive Thinking. Yes, it's a beautiful book. Yes, I don't know if you can see it. All right, The Power of Positive Thinking. That is the book we'll be reviewing for today. So say hello, say hi, let us know where you are watching us from. All right, my name is Chioma Odikolo. You're welcome to our beautiful platform, the Renewed Parents Academy. In this platform, we discuss on how we can grow ourselves, how we can renew our minds, how we can be better, how we can develop ourselves, how we can develop our minds, how we can develop our souls, how we can develop every part of us. And that is why we're reviewing this book today, The Power of Positive Thinking. All right, so we'll move straight into the conversation of today. Thank you for being here with us. So say hello, say hi, so we'll know you are here with us. So drop in your comments and tell us what tell us where you're watching from, so we'll also know and say hello to you. All right, so we'll be reviewing the book, The Power of Positive Thinking. It's a beautiful book that teaches us on how we can develop or cultivate the power of how we can be positive thinkers. So the first chapter is Believe in Yourself. Now, we must learn to believe in ourselves. We must learn to believe in our abilities. We must learn to have faith in our abilities. Self-confidence leads to self-realization and successful achievements. We must always tell ourselves that we can do everything through Christ who strengthens us. The first way for us to achieve our goals or to achieve our dreams is for us to first of all believe that we are going to achieve it. Is for us to first of all visualize it, because when we can visualize a thing, definitely we're going to believe it. So for us to achieve our goal, for us to do anything we want to be successful in doing in life, we need to first of all believe in ourselves. We need to believe in our abilities. Now, one secret to eliminate inferiority complex is to fill up our minds with overflowing faith. And one of the ways we can believe in ourselves is to fill up our minds, fill up our thoughts, fill up everything about us with faith, with overflowing faith, believing that we're going to do something, we're going to finish it, and we're going to get our results. Now, we build the feeling of insecurity or security by how we think. Everything depends on how we think. If we have a goal to achieve, or we have a dream to achieve, or we want to do something, last week we talked about attitude, the attitude we bring into a thing. So the way we think about something it goes a long way on whether we're going to achieve it or not. So if we think about something in a positive light, for example, you have a goal of maybe you want to read a book. Let's say you want to read one book for the month. If you think about reading a book positively, if you visualize yourself seeing that you're reading that book and seeing that you finish that book, it's going to help you to achieve that your goal faster of reading that book. And if you believe you can read the book, if you believe you can do this goal, you can achieve everything, you're definitely going to achieve it. So we must always learn to believe in ourselves. We must always tell ourselves that we can do anything we put our minds to. So you're listening to me. Is there something you're finding difficult? Is there something you've told yourself, I can't do this? Is there something you've told yourself, I don't think I'll be able to do it? Other people are doing it, but I don't think I'll be able to do it. But I'm here to tell us, first of all, that we must believe in ourselves. If we want to achieve anything, if we want to be successful in anything, we must first of all believe in ourselves. Then the other chapter 2, is a peaceful mind generates power. Yes, in this book, we learned that a peaceful mind generates power. We all need a peaceful mind to achieve our goals. We all need a peaceful mind to be successful. We all need a peaceful mind to get to the point we want to get to. So a peaceful mind is what we need, because a peaceful mind even generates power. Now, when we empty our minds, we will receive peace. So we must learn to empty our minds. We must learn to get comfortable making our minds free. Because when we empty our minds, we tend to receive peace. Because peace is a gift. We all need peace to achieve our goals. We all need to be in a state of peace, a state of calm to achieve our dreams, our aspiration. But one of the ways we can do that is to learn how to empty our minds. Because when we empty our mind, we receive this peace, which is a gift from God. And when we receive this peace, it helps us to fill up our minds with creativity. When we're in a state of peace, we are better able to think. When we're in a state of peace, we are relaxed. When we're in a state of peace, we are better able to create things. So we must learn to empty our minds, because when we empty our mind, it makes us to be in this state of peace and calm. Now, to have a mind full of peace, we must first of all fill it up with peace. If we must have a mind full of peace, we must first of all fill up our mind with peace. We must first of all fill up our minds with peaceful thoughts. Like most of us, we find it difficult to experience this state of calm. We find it difficult to be in this state of peace. But one thing we have to know is that if we must have a mind full of peace, we must first of all fill up our minds with peaceful thoughts. So the question is, what do we think on a daily basis? What are the voices we are listening to? Because voices are vehicles. Who are the people you're putting in your space? Who are the people you're listening to? What are the things you're seeing? Because if we must be in this state of peace, which can help us to be creative, which can help us to think better, which can help us to achieve our goal, we must learn to fill up our minds with peace. Another way we can develop peace and serenity is to quit the attitude of, being negative. Is to quit the attitude of telling ourselves we can't do it. Is to quit the attitude of anything negativity around us. That is one of the way we can also build a mind of peace and build serenity around us. And another thing we can do as parents is that we must eliminate from our conversations all negative ideas. So we must eliminate all negative ideas from our conversation, because negative ideas promote tension. Negative ideas sometimes even promote annoyance. So if we must be in this state of peace, thank you for joining us. Please say hello, say hi if you're joining us. If we must be in this state of peace, we must be in this state of calm and serenity. We must learn to eliminate any form of negative ideas from our conversation. So the thing we must ask ourselves, or the question we should ask ourselves is, run through your day. Run through a check of how you spent this day. What were the conversations you had today? The conversations you had today, were they negative conversations or positive conversations? The conversations you had today, were they uplifting conversations or not? So if we are able to filter our conversations and learn to have and do away with negative conversations, it's going to help build this state of peace and this state of serenity in us. So we must learn to fill up our minds, our thoughts with positive conversations. We must fill up our minds with optimistic conversations. We must fill up our minds with happy conversation and satisfying expression if we must be in this state of peace and calm. So one thing we must also remember as parents is that the words we speak have a direct and definite effect upon our thoughts. So the words we speak to ourselves on a daily basis, it has a direct and a definite effect on us. So when we speak good about ourselves, it's going to affect us in a good way. When we speak negative, definitely it's going to rub on us negatively. So we must be conscious of the words we speak, because the words we speak, they are not just mere words, they are not just ordinary words. These words go a long way to affect our thoughts. Now, we must also remember that our thoughts create our words. The things we think about on a daily basis, those are the things that form our words. Those are the things that make up our words. For words are the vehicles of ideas. So what we think on a daily basis, it makes up our words. And these words, these things we say on a daily basis, they are the vehicles of our ideas. So the question is, what are we thinking? What is filling up our thoughts? Are they positive things? Are they negative things? If we must achieve our goals, if we must achieve our dreams, if we must be successful, if we must have a growth mindset, if we must develop ourselves, be a better versions of ourselves, we must learn to scrutinize the things we think about. We must learn to filter the negatives out of us and learn to think more of the positive. But words also affect our thought and help to condition if to create attitude. The words we speak affect our thoughts. It influences everything about us. It influences our attitude. So we cannot just speak anyhow. We cannot just think anyhow, because these things have a long way. It has a way of affecting every other area and every other aspect of our life. So we must be intentional about creating peace in our life, in our space. We must be intentional about having a place, a state where we are just calm. And one of the ways we can do that is to watch the kind of thoughts we think about, the kind of words we say to ourselves, our attitude, our ideas. We must be very conscious, because all these things have a way of affecting, or have a way of making us not to be at peace. Then the other chapter is how to have a constant energy. Yes, we must be in this state of energy. We must be in this state of not be in this gloomy state. So as parents, we must always, we were models to our children. So we must model to our children positive energy. Now, what this book told us is that God is the source of all energy. So we should take care of our body. We should take care of our diets. We should take care of ourselves. We should exercise better, and we should sleep better. You know, this aspect, most of us are guilty, even me. A good number of us as parents, we don't exercise, we don't eat well, we don't even sleep well. And when you ask some parents, they'll tell you, oh my God, parenting is so difficult. I have a lot to do. I have work. I have so many things to do. And we just stay, and the circle keeps on going. Every day we wake up, we do the same thing. But we must learn to pay close attention to ourselves, because we need to be fit, we need to be well, we need to be full of energy to take care of our children, to parent better. And some of the ways we can do that is to watch our diet. What are we eating? We should exercise better, and we should sleep better. So we can draw energy when we are better, when we take good care of ourselves. We can have better energy when we exercise better, we eat better, and we sleep better. Another way we can draw energy as parents is that we can draw energy from our emotional self-mastery. You know, when we are able to master ourselves emotionally, when we are stable emotionally, when we understand the emotions we feel per time, when we are aware of ourselves, we are aware of the emotions we feel per time. When we are aware, it helps us to be in this state of energy. It helps us to be in this state of, okay, I'm in charge of myself. I have control over the emotions I feel per time. And it is very important for us as parents to know that it's our responsibility to be in charge, to take control of the emotions we feel per time. It's not the responsibility of our children, it's not the responsibility of anyone else, but our responsibility to be in charge of our emotion. When we are in charge of our emotion, when we are in better control of our emotion, you find out that we will be in this state of high energy, and it will help us to be, to achieve our goals faster, to develop ourselves, to be better, everything good. So we must learn to have a better control of our emotions. Then the other chapter we'll be talking about is chapter 4, which says try the prayer power. So this book, The Power of Positive Thinking, the writer was trying to tell us that every problem we encounter as parents, as individuals, have a solution. We don't have to go through life alone without help. There is help. there is help. We don't have to go through our difficult situation or go through challenges without help. There is definitely help. And that is why we are reminded through this book today and through our daily, what our daily life, that every problem we encounter can be solved by prayer. Now, prayer is the greatest power available to us individual in solving our personal problems. The greatest power we have, the greatest solution we have to our problems is prayer. And we are reminded the writer of the power of positive thinking is trying to tell us and draw our attention that we can solve all problems through prayer. We don't have to go through life alone. We don't have to go through our challenges alone. We have God. We have a source. We are coming from a source. So we should learn to go back to our source when we encounter difficult situations. When we do that, it will help us to think better. It will help us to think positively. It will keep us in that state of calm, that state of serenity. Because when we have problems in our head, when we have a lot of things to deal with and we feel there's no help anywhere, it might make us not to be calm. It might make us to be chaotic up there. But when we understand that, okay, this challenge I have, there's a solution. There's God. I can always pray to God to help me. It helps us to release those thoughts that we have. It helps us to be more stable, to think positively, and to be in this state of energy so we can achieve our goals, our dreams, and our aspiration. And we are reminded also in this book the power of positive thinking, that we should pray without ceasing. And we should picture our success or what we want to achieve. So as I said earlier, one of the ways we can achieve our goals, one of the ways we can achieve anything we set our minds to achieve, is to picture ourselves positively achieving that thing, is to picture ourselves that we have already achieved that. That's visualizing, to see it, to see the mental picture that we have already achieved that. And one of the ways we can even do that is by praying. When you have your expectation, you know what you're expecting to achieve your goal. One of the ways we can now picture it is by praying. So, and when we picture it, we can now see that, okay, we can now believe that this thing is actually coming to reality. So those are some of the ways we can achieve our goals. And we must remember that prayer stimulates ideas. Are you seeking for ideas? There are so many ideas we have in the inside of us. There are so many ideas we are blessed in the inside with. One of the ways it can be stimulated is through prayers. So we must always learn to pray better. We must learn to go through life with God, because we can't do life alone. Then the next chapter is chapter 5. And what is chapter 5 of the power of positive thinking saying? It says, how can we create our own happiness? Yes, how can we create our own happiness? Now, we must always understand and remember as parents that it's our responsibility to be happy. We choose to be happy. It's not the responsibility of our children. It's not the responsibility of our spouse, our husbands, or our wives. It's not the responsibility of our parents, our brothers, or our sisters. It's our responsibility to be happy. So we choose to be happy. So we have to come to terms that my happiness is not dependent on someone. My happiness is not dependent on the next person. Your happiness is not dependent on your children. Your happiness is not dependent on your material possession. Your happiness is not dependent on anything. Your happiness is dependent on you. So we are reminded through this book, the power of positive thinking, that we decide to be happy. We make a choice to be happy. And one of the best decisions we can make for ourselves as parents, as individuals on a daily basis, is to choose every day to be happy. Is to choose every day to be happy. Sometimes it could be difficult, because when you have a problem staring in front of you, you're like, oh my God, is there any reason to be happy? But we must learn to choose every day to be happy. So we decide whether we should be happy or not. It's our decision. It's not the decision of anyone. And we should not give anyone control of our life. We should not place the control of our happiness on anyone. We must decide to be happy. We must make the choice to be happy. We choose to be happy when we wake up in the morning. So one of the ways we can develop positive thinking, one of the ways we can achieve our goal, is when you wake up in the morning, decide, choose to be happy. Make a choice that today I am going to be happy. Today, irrespective of what comes my way, I am going to be happy. When you wake up in the morning, you do it. When you want to go to bed, you do it. Even during the day, you can just pause and tell yourself, I choose to be happy. We should learn to say nice things to ourselves. One of the ways we can stimulate our happiness is when we begin to say nice things to ourselves. So when you wake up in the morning, what are the things you say? What is the first thing you say or you do when you wake up in the morning? So when we wake up in the morning, we should say nice things like, today is a great day. Today is a beautiful day. I am going to achieve my goals. I'm going to achieve my dream. Today I choose to be happy. Today is going to turn out so good for me. So these are the words we can say to ourselves. And when we say these words to ourselves, it helps to build us. It helps to make us to be more happy. It helps to stimulate something in us and makes us to, go through life with positive energy. So we must always learn to be happy. One of the ways we can pick up happiness or to learn to be happy is to see the life of children. Most children now, they are usually happy. A child is not bothered about the problems of the society. A child is not a typical child, is not really bothered about if they eat a particular kind of meal or not. You can just see a child is typically happy. They are happy some of them are happy to play. When they are playing, they are happy. When they are even eating, whatever you give to them, they are happy. You can just see that this child is happy. So one of the ways we can even learn about being happy is from children. So look around you, look at your children, look at the children within your space, look at the children around you. They are always happy. And one of what we can do for ourselves as parents is to learn to be happy as children. Now, there are so many things in life that will make us unhappy. There are so many situations that are not going on well. There are so many things that are happening. There are so many reasons why people should not be happy, but we should not add more to those reasons and make ourselves unhappy. We should consciously make an effort and a decision every day to be happy. When we make that decision, it helps us to have a positive thought, to have a positive mindset, to think positively, and it helps us to achieve our goals. Now, happiness is achievable. It is achievable, and the process for obtaining happiness is not complicated. It's not one big formula out there. It's not complicated. Anyone who desires to be happy will be happy. As a parent, if we desire to be happy, if I desire to be happy, I'll be happy. If you desire to be happy, you'll be happy. Happiness does not have a complicated formula. What it just needs is for us to make the decision to be happy. Now, most of us as parents, we manufacture our own unhappiness. Most of us manufacture every day. We look at so many things, little things around us, and we just pick them up and are unhappy. Most of us look at things that our children are doing, just little things that we can overlook, little things that we can take control, manage our emotions, just overlook. We look at those things and pick it up. We manufacture our own happiness on a daily basis. Maybe you go out there, you're irritated, you're unhappy, so many things that probably we would have neglected, but we decide to sit on it. When we do that, it's not doing us any good, because when we go around unhappy, if you go around unhappy, you won't have a calm mind, you won't have a peaceful mind, you won't even think positively, you won't even think of great ideas. So if we must be in this state of calm, this state of stability, if we must think positively and come out with ideas on the inside of us, we must go about in a happy state and not go about being unhappy. We must also remember that our happiness affects everything around us. It affects every other area of our life. It affects the life of people around us, our children, our husband. Happiness goes a long way to affect everyone around us. So we must be intentional about our happiness. We must be happy for ourselves. We must make a choice, a conscious effort to develop these habits of being happy and not giving the responsibility to someone else. Then the chapter 6 of our book says stop fuming. So it's still related to chapter 5, which is talking about being happy, learning to practice serenity, learning to practice the state of calm, the state of stability. We must learn to stop doing okay, I'm always busy. You can't calm down, you can't reflect, you can't think, you can't just sit with yourself. But we must learn to practice serenity. And one of the ways we can practice serenity is to sit down with ourselves, to catch ourselves in the action. Just sit down with yourself, self-reflect, have conversation with yourself, talk to yourself, journal with yourself. We must learn to pause as parents. Some of us are so busy. We're always busy from morning when we wake up to the night when we get back from work. We are busy. It's good, but we must learn to pause and reflect. We must learn to stop and reflect. It's not always that we have to be in a rush. Most of us are always rushing to one event or the other. Most of us are always in this state of rush. Our minds, we are rushing. Our thoughts, we are rushing. We don't have time to sit down and reflect. But if we must develop serenity, which we can develop ideas from, we must learn to pause. We must learn to stop, and we must learn to reflect. We must learn to stop and journal, read your Bible, pray, think. Just think of peaceful thoughts. Think of something good. We must learn to pause. We must learn to reflect. If we must develop a positive attitude, if we must create ideas, if we must think of something great, if we must achieve our goals, we must learn to pause. Then chapter 7 of this book, the power of positive thinking, is expect the best and get it. So as parents, we must always expect the best in everything we do. We should not start up something and start up with the mind of not expecting the best. We must always expect the best. When we set out our goals, we must expect to achieve our goals. But the question we have to ask ourselves, do we even have expectations? Do we know our expectations? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. And one of the ways we can even know our expectations and have expectations is to set our goals. How many of us have our goals set? Thank you for joining us. How many of us have our goals set, pasted? How many of us have our goals written down so that we can look onto our goals every day? Because if you don't have your goals, what are you expecting? So if we expect to succeed, if we expect the best, we must first of all know what our expectations are. And one of the ways we can know what our expectations are is to know what our goals are. So the question I have for us today, you're watching me live, you're catching a replay. What are your expectations from life this year? What do you expect of yourself? Do you have your goals? Do you have your goals written down? Because when you have your goals, you know that, okay, I expect to reach my goals. So when we set out to do something, when we set out to achieve our goal, we should always expect the best and nothing more than the best. And that is where the magic of believing comes in. We must always believe. Believe is one of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves. It's one of the greatest gifts we can bless ourselves with. We must learn to believe. Learn to believe that we're going to achieve our goals. Learn to believe that we're going to achieve success. We must learn to believe. If we expect the worst, it's possible that you could get the worst. But if you expect the best in all situations, you will definitely get the best. Because when you expect the best, your subconscious mind expects the best. Your subconscious mind, your mind starts to work together to see that you get the best. The resources you need, the people you need, the mentors you need, the courses you need, everything you need starts to come into your face for you to achieve or to get the best. So we must learn to have this mindset of getting the best whenever we set out to do anything. We must always believe that we are going to achieve our goals. We must always believe that we are going to achieve our dreams. Whatever your dreams are, you want to start up a business, you want to take a course, you want to be a better parent, you want to develop yourself. We must always believe that we are going to get the best and nothing but the best. So we must remember as parents that all things are possible to those that believe. When we believe, everything is possible. Not some things, not few things. Everything is possible to those that believe. So the question is, do you believe? The question is, do I believe I am going to achieve my goals? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. And that is why we need to give ourselves the gift of believing. Believing in ourselves. Believing in our abilities. We must think positively about everything. So we must get out of the habit of thinking negative. We must think positively about anything. If we set our minds to achieve something, we must think positively. We must visualize. We must see ourselves. We must picture it that we have already achieved that thing. We're just waiting for the physical manifestation. So believing is one of the gifts we must give to ourselves. And one of the ways we can do that is to change our mental habits. Change our mental habits to believe instead of disbelieve. Learn to respect, not to doubt. Learn to respect, not to doubt. Learn to believe and not disbelieve. Don't be the one that will tell yourself, oh, I can't start this business. I can't read this book. I can't do this. I can't take this course. No, we can all do everything. We can do everything through Christ who strengthens us. But what matters is that, do you believe? Do I believe? That is where everything starts from. So we must learn to believe. Our belief at the beginning of a doubtful undertaking is the one thing that ensures the successful outcome of our venture. The belief we have when we set off on any undertaking is the one thing we need that will determine whether we are going to be successful in that venture. So the gifts or the message I have for us today is the message of belief. Even if you did not take up anything from this session, even if you did not hear anything from this session, what I want you to hear, what I want you to take home is just to believe. Just take the word believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities. Believe in your capacity. Believe in yourself. Believe that you're going to achieve your goals. Believe that you're going to do something great. That thing that you've been saying, oh, I'm scared to do it. I'm scared to try. I'm going to fail. Just believe it. Believe you're going to do it and start to get to work. Belief is the basic factor of succeeding in any undertaking. Do you want to succeed in any undertaking? Believe it. Do I want to succeed in any undertaking? The first thing I need to do is to believe it. I must learn to expect the best, and when I expect the best, I will get the best. We must learn to expect the best, because when we expect the best, we are definitely going to get the best. So we must learn to believe. We must learn to do away with doubt. We must learn to believe in our abilities. We must learn to believe in our capacity. Then the last chapter is I don't believe in defeat. We don't believe in defeat at all. We don't believe we're not going to be successful, because whatever we set our minds to, we're going to achieve it. Even if all the obstacles are staring you in the face, even if everything looks like this thing is not possible, but tell yourself, I'm going to put in the work. I believe in myself because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. We don't believe in defeat. We don't believe in doubting ourselves in any way. What we believe in, we believe that we can do all things. So that is the message I have for us today. If you did not get anything from this session, the two things I want you to take away from this session is to believe. Just believe in yourself. Believe you're going to achieve your goal. Believe you're going to achieve your dreams, your reality. Believe you're going to be successful in whatever you put your minds to. And the second message I want you to take home, I want us, including me, to take home today is that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So whenever your child tells you, Mom, Dad, I can't do this, you tell your child, no, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Whenever that thought comes to you and say, no, you can't take this exam is difficult. Whenever that thought comes to you and say, you cannot learn to drive. Whenever that thought comes to you and say, you can't learn to swim. Whenever that thought comes to you and say, you can't even learn to read a book. Whenever that thought comes to you and say, you can't go for your master's, you're married, you have children, you can't do this, you don't have the time. Tell yourself that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So we should not place any limitation on ourselves. The limitation we place on ourselves, the only limitation is the limitation we place on ourselves. There is no limitation with God. There is no limitation with God. So why do we limit ourselves? God can do all things. So why do we limit ourselves? If we are gods, if we are created in the image and the likeness of God, inside of us lies ideas. Inside of us lies abilities. Inside of us lies greatness. So why do we limit ourselves? Why do we tell ourselves we can't do this? We can't do this. I can't do this. So the message I have for us today is the message of, first of all, believing in ourselves, in our abilities, in our capacity. And the second message is that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So thank you very much for listening to me today. I believe you got value. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. So drop it in the comment section. What would you be doing differently? What would you be doing differently? Believe and tell yourself we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So thank you for joining us for our book review. Remember, we're going to go into our webinar. We'll just take a quick water break. So grab your cup of water, just relax, and we'll be back for our webinar. So thank you and see you in our webinar. Do have a great day and bye.